afternoon, everybody. Pressing an issue which I've known about for quite some time, that many of you may not be clear on, and it is I'm a Falun Gong practitioner. I've been practicing Falun Gong for a number of years, and this is to do with one of the means in which Falun Gong is persecuted overseas, inside mainland China, which is where it began. Yeah, the topic is Chinese Communist regime's secret death camp. Never again is happening again. The slaughter of Falun Gong practitioners aimed at destroying witnesses and victims of concentration camps is happening now. Public testimonies shock the world. Witness 1, a former staff member of a hospital linked to the Fulan death camp said, "If I don't step forward and speak the truth today, I'll feel guilty for the rest of my life. If I spoke the truth now, I might be murdered tomorrow. You know, it is the Chinese Communist Party's evil deed." She estimates that thousands of Falun Gong practitioners have had their organs harvested and their bodies burnt on-site crematoriums. The women's hospital was the woman's husband was a neurosurgeon who was forced to harvest corneas. The doctors were told that harvesting the organs of live Falun Gong practitioners would not be considered a crime. Instead, it was called a cleansing for the sake of the CCP. Those Falun Gong practitioners were all alive. It might be easy for me if they were dead, but they were all alive. That was her quote. And she was the wife of a doctor who was ordered by the Chinese Communist Party to harvest the live body parts of people kept in concentration camps inside China. Witness 2, the former reporter of a Japanese TV who first broke the news of the Fulan death camp on March 9, 2006, says as many as 2 million Falun Gong practitioners are currently held in China's vast system of labour camps and prisons. He explained, due to the CCP's policy that the deaths of Falun Gong practitioners count as suicide, their corneas, kidneys and bone marrows harvested live, and even their hair was made into wigs, and their skin and body fat sold. Witness 3, a veteran military doctor from Xinjiang City revealed there were 10,000 Falun Gong practitioners in Sichuan, and that this was one of at least 36 similar death camps over all of China. December 31, 2000, the first report indicating the crime of organ harvesting taking place was published on a website entitled "Evil Policemen Scheme to Sell the Organs of Jailed Falun Gong Practitioners." After the Fulan death camp was exposed, the CCP was silent for 3 weeks, which gave them plenty of time to transfer prisoners and destroy all evidence. They then invited officials from the US to tour the facilities at Fulan. Not surprisingly, the US officials could not find any evidence. This is chillingly similar to the incident in June 1944 when the Nazis permitted the Red Cross to tour their something or other death camp. The Red Cross officials saw a beautiful community with cafes, shops and attractive landscaping. The genocide of the Jews continued elsewhere. The CCP issued interim regulations for human organ transport practices on March 27. However, these regulations prohibited organ trading don't take effect until July 1, which gives the CCP 3 months to destroy human evidence of their crimes. On April 6, 2006, the Coalition to Investigate the Persecution of Falun Gong in China confirmed that hospitals and transplant centres in over 15 provinces were working overtime to perform transplant operations. The CCP's massacre to destroy concentration camp victims has begun, and it is happening every minute. Never again. Made 60 years ago. This genocide far exceeds the issue of religious persecution or human rights. It is attacking each individual's soul. We are urgently asking every individual and government to make a choice between personal benefit and conscience.
What is Falun Dafa? Falun Gong, also known as Falun Dafa, is a spiritual discipline that combines gentle exercises, meditation, and a moral teaching centered around the principles of truthfulness, compassion, and tolerance. Practitioners of Falun Gong aspire to live by these principles in their daily lives, striving to achieve a state of selflessness and inner balance. Falun Gong, which has its roots in ancient Chinese culture, was first introduced to the public in China by Mr. Li Hongzhi in 1992. It spread around the world very quickly and is credited with helping practitioners achieve both physical and mental, moral and spiritual well-being. There is no obligation or membership in Falun Gong. The practice is taught free of charge by volunteers in over 70 countries worldwide. Why the persecution in China? The former Chinese Communist Party leader Jiang Zemin launched this persecution in July 1999. Why? Jiang was insecure about his authority and jealous of Falun Gong's popularity. By the late 1990s, 70 to 100 million people were practicing Falun Gong in China, outnumbering the Communist Party membership. Falun Gong's principles of truthfulness, compassion and tolerance stand in direct opposition to the nature of the Chinese Communist Party, which defies traditional values and does not allow any freedom of belief. The head of the CCP fears losing control over people's minds. Since then, hundreds of thousands of Falun Gong practitioners have been illegally detained in prisons, labour camps and so-called mental hospitals for refusing to denounce Falun Gong. They are routinely beaten, tortured, raped, injected with nerve-damaging drugs. Over 2,800 deaths as a result of torture have been confirmed as of March 2006. Since July 20th, 1999, Jiang's verdict has been ruin practitioners' reputation, bankrupt them financially and destroy them physically.